If this project is for a client, ideally you will need a brief, so ask for a brief. Personally, I like images in my briefs because it helps to understand the benchmarks a bit more and gives you a good base for mood boarding. But a quick overview of this random brief: the client wants something unique, tailored to a young audience, but also wants to cater for the streetwear and design enthusiasts, with brands such as Stussy, Alix, and a Cold War as a reference for this project. Next, it's time to do your own research. Understand the style you're trying to bring to life and find designs around it rather than directly reflecting what you're trying to make. This just stops you from ripping designs and teaches you how to make effects in the process. I do this through websites such as Pinterest. If you're still having trouble generating ideas, try mind mapping on a piece of pen and paper. I find that this is the best way of generating new ideas. But if you're still having a lot more trouble, ask your client for more information before onboarding the project. The last thing you want to do is be stuck midway through a project and not know the direction you guys are heading in. For the drafting phase, I usually sketch on my iPad. I just find it easier to share sketches directly to my laptop without having to scan them in. But if you're on a piece of pen and paper, just simply take a photo. That should be more than enough because you're going to be making this digital anyway. For this project, I use Procreate for my sketches, and I usually have 3 bases. One is just understanding the name in case I spell it wrongly. The second one is just a general overview of the style that I want to go into before I put it into Photoshop and then make it a bit more cleaner. For this effect, we want a black leather looking brush with a futuristic influence, and the way we achieve that is by using a custom brush. The shape of the brush is just a rectangle that's been angled to give us those interesting shapes. Other technical factors are just ensuring your smoothing for the Photoshop brush is set to 100. We just added a new layer on top and build interesting shapes that are semi-readable. Now, I know this isn't for everyone or everyone's favorite style, but to hit all the notes from the brief, we've hit the younger demographic with the Y2K influence / futuristic influence, and also kept it hand drawn to keep it within that Stussy influence. So as you can see, I'm taking this from a literal standpoint in terms of the brief and making sure I hit every single note that we talked about. After finishing drawing in my final letters, I use Photoshop to basically clean up the lettering and making sure it all matches the rest of the typeface. This is done by just using the direct lasso selection tool and then pressing Command T to transform it to suit the width and the height of the rest of the letters. And you've noticed that I strategically didn't put the letters together or drew them together because it allows me to make adjustments to the letters later, and I can just bring them together in Illustrator. Now, the one thing I love about doing this in Photoshop is I'm allowed to add in lines, take away lines, and make duplicates of the original in case I mess up. This allows me to just go in, make any further adjustments or draw in any other further adjustments if I have to that I could see that add to the overall design. To cap it off in Photoshop, I just turn off my grids and take a screenshot of my typography and move to Illustrator where we finalize the logo. Now, to keep true to our references, I'm going to be using the image trace tool rather than the pen tool and drawing this in a more straight line corporate way and keeping the very hand-drawn rough aesthetic towards it. Even though looking at it naturally, it's not that rough, I just don't want to clean it up any more than this. To extract your logo from the image trace, make sure you press Ignore Y on the image trace and go up to Object and Expand. And from here, you should just have a rough vector of your logo. It's complete from now on. All you have to do is make a duplicate and ungroup it and get rid of anything you don't want in the actual design. Now, I love this little detail of like a goalpost from the ACW branding, a Cold War branding, and I wanted to add something like that to the aesthetic of Nova. So I went ahead and added this typeface that's more simplistic compared to our crazy hand-drawn typeface, and we're going to integrate it into a logo to make it the primary logo. Once I got the primary icon for Nova, I just go to Offset Path and Offset Path the surrounding circle, whatever you would call it, and then I just cut it out from the original logo. Now this gives us a very unique shape and it plays on like that ACW sort of aesthetic with that weird goalpost, and it just generally adds more to the design. And to finish off the logo / branding, I added another offset just because offsets don't hurt nobody, and I feel like it just has a nice futuristic element for some reason when it comes to typefaces, and it just completes the design a bit more if you're going for a more futuristic look. Now, since we've finished our branding and we've already hit the target audience regarding to our younger demographic, let's go ahead and tailor to that whole seasoned streetwear aesthetic. That's more ACW, brands like Off-White, where things are a little bit more muted in a sense. So we're going to be introducing colors that are more earth tone, such as greens, creams, and browns, just to finish off the branding. For this tag, it's going to be the most generic sizing regarding a tag. So that's around, I wouldn't say 4 inches. Is it 4 centimeters by 8 centimeters roughly when it comes to tags? And then we're going to be introducing our colors. Now, to make the tag a little bit more elevated, I wanted to add in this die cut flower within the tag that shows the Nova branding from behind the tag. So we have 2 tags. The top one is, I guess, the introduction into the brand, and the bottom one just has the brand name. I went ahead and changed the colors to the green for contrast and added in a byline for the actual branding. I says, design is not the start, welcome to Nova, because Nova sounds very futuristic. Now that we got our colors and our logo, let's go ahead and make a mock-up real quick using the Designedbywil tech pack. And that's just going to be this vest, just to play on the whole a Cold War branding, because the most popular piece is that 2-piece army vest, which is really sick in that brown color. And we're just going to go with that aesthetic and make a mock-up. Now that's everything complete, let's just do a general view. We have here our primary logo and then just our typeface logo and our icon, sort of to speak. That's just cap off all the branding that we need really for a clothing brand. Next, we got our hang tags. We got 2 hang tags, and then we got our in garment tag and just our slogan there. Next, I just did this little mock-up of a chain just from an old project that I had with a client. Just wanted to add it into this collection real quick. And to finally cap it off, we have everything together. We have the custom zipper, the whole garment design, construction, and a mock-up, and we got all the colors. So let me know what you guys think about this branding process. Is it for you? Is this how you guys do it? Just let me know all your comments down below. I love you guys. Take care. Peace.